So when you think we're finished, we're absolutely not. Because this Friday on Iwer Stage, that's the 25th of September 2020, we have Brother Mudada. He's going to be live one-on-one via virtual concert right here at the Street 919 FM. Remember, while these concerts and the production is states of the art, we ask that you continue to contribute to it via Fund Me TNT. You can catch all concerts live on the Street 919 FM Facebook page, on Neil Iwer George, YouTube Iwer TV, and Instagram at Iwer George. Make it a date and don't be late. This Friday, Brother Mudada is on Iwer Stage. Good afternoon to those of you logging me down on my YouTube live. Molly Cootie is on the inside. Molly, how you doing today? Hope you're having an awesome day. It's slightly overcast in downtown Port of Spain, but I promise to keep you guys warm and toasty on the inside until 5. Remember, we have a guest coming up in the next hour, yeah? So you can stay tuned for that. Good afternoon to Marcelin Ned. Good afternoon to Tobago locked on in the house. How you guys doing in Tobago today? I urge you to like the video, share the live as we get ready to start today's show. All right, so as we get ready, let me let you know what's making news to this hour. According to the Express, the San Juan community pleads for water. The San Juan Business Association has joined the San Juan Barataria Member of Parliament Saddam Hussein in a plead for water from the Water and Sewage Authority. They hope WASA can address the lack of water supply plaguing the community. Also in the news, toddler drowns as dad says prayers. Police continue to investigate the death of the 2-year-old girl. The mayor's cousin is a murder victim. He is number 300. I saw a lot of my friends on Facebook sharing his picture. I hope his families get justice. Condolences to the family. Beating for highway sex predator suspect. A man who allegedly abducted a woman off the Charlieville walkover on Thursday night was captured by area residents, and they beat him into submission until the police arrived. Yeah? Also making news, government committed to property tax. According to Ria Tate, property tax appears increasingly to be on the agenda for the October 5th national budget, and the minister intends to go full speed ahead. Also in the Express, BSG gets Cabo Star contract again. Anna Ramdas wrote, Cabinet has approved a contract to Bridgeman Services Group for its Cabo Star vessel service and the Inter-Island Sea Bridge for 2 years at a reduced cost. According to the article, the commission meets with Griffith on conduct. And a complaint against the Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith, by the Chairman of the National Security Council, Prime Minister Dr. Rowley, has been submitted to the Police Service Commission. Quite interesting development. Uday Ramchand apologizes to Terence Dayal Singh for cursing him. Minister Dayal Singh visits Kuva Hospital. Caribbean Airlines arranged special flight for New York. The resistant arsonist has been arrested. COVID-positive victims liming everywhere. According to the Express, police are expected to crack down. And the PCA is charged for Hackshaw. Also making news, the family of Cedric Berkey Burke has dropped their appeal to have an autopsy done on the body. Just some of the things making news to this hour. I'm going to open up the lines and take your calls. Feel free to touch base with us. 342-008-1771-1791 4665-391, yeah? Good afternoon to Angela on Facebook, to Diane, to Donna. And to Soca Man. Hope you guys are doing well. So let's go to the phone line, see who's on the outside. Feel free to touch base on any of the issues I just discussed. Or you can raise your own. Hi, good afternoon, you're live. Good afternoon. Not sure what happened, caller. Feel free to call back. My WhatsApp is up and running as well. You can reach me on WhatsApp, 771-1791. Call A Live.
Hello, good afternoon, Aisha.
Good afternoon.
What I saw on the papers today, Dr. Fauci from America said that sunlight is cure COVID. But I listened to them on the Chinese station. They say but the sunlight have to be 42 or 34 degrees Fahrenheit. And we don't really have that here.
Okay, thank you for sharing that information with us.
I heard it on Chinese station.
The Chinese station. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I guess the debate surrounding whether sunlight kills COVID continues. I don't know. I thought we had moved on from that. Let's see who's there. Caller, you live.
Well, good evening.
Hey, how are you?
Fine. I wonder if you is one of the persons that put a name to work my number.
No, I would never do that.
I hope not. I respect you, but I don't think you will do me such a thing.
Somebody put your name to a number to your
Not my
name.
name.
Oh, I don't know.
I won't let me do that because I heard my mother this morning ask a question, so that's why I asked you this question.
No problem. That's fine. Go ahead.
According to the last caller, Mr. Fauci told us son kills COVID, and it seemed as because we had our former Minister of Health. What's his name? Member for San Juan Batari.
Oh, Dr. Fuad Khan.
Had something on TV sometime telling us the Minister of Health is mad, telling us to wear masks. Don't you see around the world now, Aisha, that are telling us there is no vaccine, so the safest thing besides the vaccine is what? You know what, Ms. Wells? A mask. We live in a tropical country. See what's going on in India? India is now coming epidemic center. We thought it was in Brazil, but apparently it seems to be India. India has now, if you look at just now, I run past America with the amount of victims that they have. Isn't the sun in India probably hotter than the sun in Trinidad and Tobago? The COVID will only die if you put the COVID outside and the sun is sick. But you can't have COVID and walk out in the sun and tell yourself that is good. I wonder if there was mother played a young lady who apparently was infected with this virus and had a skip until this morning to the extent of how serious this thing is. That we have a group of people going around this country giving me the impression that sun kills COVID. And if you drink puncheon, Ms. Wells, let me don't go down that road, you know. Right now we have about nearly, 60 deaths.
60 according to the Express.
And all these people are elderly people. You know why? Because we young ones going out and party and palan and come back home to the elderly citizens, grandmother and grandfather, and taking them out. So now the police have to get more vehicles to go around to tell who's supposed to be self-quarantined to look around till when we're done. We're having a budget coming up. You know what this thing is going to cost the taxpayers, and now it's we pay property tax. We have a problem. But my member of parliament for my area is making noise for water. I live in Sawabatal. Water goes sometimes twice a week. Maybe on a Wednesday, come back Thursday evening, or it might go on a Friday and come back. And that only started happening within the last 2 months. Right? So the people in Sawabatal don't have a water problem compared to other people. Because most people in Sawabatal have tanks. But here the problem is, when you put up a 3-story apartment building, and you put 1,000-gallon tank downstairs, and you have 15 apartments with 2 bedrooms and family, where do you have Niger?
Well,
So he ain't making noise.
clearly you'll be out of water.
He making noise to the man who have a 3-story apartment and don't want to pay property tax, but want the garbage truck to come and pick up the garbage, and want good roads, and want water. So now, the budget is coming. I would like, and you know, we call it the business community. I see somebody, I see the Minister of Education called for corporate citizens to come forward. I see a group of companies come to give out 400 laptops. But you know what they do with it, right?
No, what they did.
Workers, and 100 is to give out to the ministry to give out. So you see, Trinidadians, we could help out each other. Because we have a fund. And I tell them, if you look at Aisha, we feel it yet, you know. We're going to have shortage of meat, chicken, rice. Because it's migrant workers who work in somebody. If I can't go to America to pick cotton, we don't pick cotton like if I can't go to pick apple and grape, I see one of these wine producers. If you sell them a 1,000 pounds of grape, they tell them what's going on. We make it 500 pounds. So there's supply and demand. And there's a lack of workers to continue the lack of supply. You understand what I'm saying?
Understood.
So therefore, if we in Trinidad don't start to plant some more food, create our own chickens, raise our own beef, and this thing runs until next year, or even into the following year until we get, you know what's going to happen to us? Globally, we can't afford to buy nothing because there's nobody working no way to do. You see what's going on in England, right?
Yes.
In England, the woman must be about 10,000 a day now. Enjoy your evening as well.
Thank you so much. Very sound advice from Barataria on how we should approach this pandemic period. You know, I keep telling people that 2020 is the trailer and the movie is really in 2021. There are going to be some dark days ahead unless you prepare to deal with it from now. And those who don't prepare will fail. If you fail to prepare, you're going to fail. That's the fact. So we continue to monitor what's happening. Let's see who's there calling live.
Good afternoon, Aisha.
Hi.
And all these sensible people, especially the children. Aisha is still on my laptop drive, and last time I gave out my number, I'd received some donation as well, where the
Very
laptop on
good.
your iPad is concerned.
Congrats.
So the number again is 265-3846. Now, Aisha,
Yes.
I know what there. But I don't want to know why I should have ended them. I watched you have ended them, Aisha, for years. Whether to go by the community, so that's me. Yeah, I find children going a bit of bed. I don't like male bed with females and things as teenager boys and girls thing going up now. And I saw that going on. So what about that? When they're going on, the buses about that going up. That party bus that run parallel to the factory with this Coconut Growers Association. See two big tank. That's on the snow. You know why? Because fed up. I see in the East-West corridor, when water gone, children across the party bus route, they have to go here, they have to go along in canal, who are to get what kind of dirty water, they have to go by the community center or by the police youth club, but by the police youth club is only somebody netballers. So it's frightening for them going out there. So Bataria buy a tank, and they don't want to go for in Bataria. You know why they don't get enough water? In Bataria, because the probably the UNC, Salamusin can talk how much you want. When they're ready to get water, they're ready to get water. Beat them our water. Because we beat them all of us frighten we. I'm talking like a big onion now. All of us have to frighten we. Because when I take water too long, it must have a cause or a reason. I don't want to fix something. I don't know we are situated amongst 40 looks highways. And I want to thank everybody in anticipation who sees fit. Not like nasty people like Battalion and Dunstan House and others. Who sees fit to lend a hand and a support. Right? Like I read when I have a businessman called somebody who's selling computers, Aisha. People want to eat too. Let me say some children you go down there. If people want to know what children, you know, you can tell them, don't study who children. We look at the healthy, less fortunate. Don't study who, what time, but the children. So Somalia, why don't you buy a tank? But I listen to buy no Jordan, you know. I know big kid, I know big man. Me no come up in nothing. I remain active and I'm children. When I see things going wrong in my community, they're not activists, they don't shoot them. Or no big chain, or no, what we just call them, kill them. No one, no, and listen to the children. And that will continue to tell you. I'll tell you back, and you're no shame. Shame, you're no shame.
I mean, why is water a discussion that we're still having in 2020? You know? I don't even know where to begin, but I think campaigns past, we said by such and such time, water would have been a thing of the past. I think it was 120 days, right? I could be wrong. And I know an attempt was made to put a desalination plant on the Beetham Highway opposite Anderson Wilson. Yes, you, Anderson Wilson, right opposite you. Billions of dollars was spent to do this. And well, now, as I drive on the highway every day, there is nothing there. The materials have been stolen. What is left on the compound has been vandalized, and it's just ruins. that is visible for the world to see when you're either entering the capital city or you're leaving. So while I hear people, crying for water, and in 2020 we're still complaining about water, these type of conversations I prefer not to have, because we are not serious about giving water for all. We had that kind of campaign done already and it didn't bear any fruit. So to have people jumping on that bandwagon now in 2020, I don't think it's a bandwagon I would entertain. When we're serious about discussing water for all, then I will continue that conversation. For now, do as all you please. I hold no bones in saying that. I have been here, I've done that. I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah, we can continue the conversation. Feel free to call me, touch on any issue you want inside this hour. I have a guest coming in next hour. Speak now, forever hold your peace. 342-0081-771-1791 466-5391. Your life.
Aisha, the contractors have moved all the material. And if that is the PNM was kicking against that, they still have too much money spent on that.
I don't know. Anderson, I don't know who kicked, who moved, and who stole. I'm just talking about the project.
No. When it comes to the stealing, that heavy securities across there. If you wanted to go and touch a piece of steel or 2 lengths of steel, you cannot do it.
So what happened to the building, Anderson? What happened to the building?
I don't. So they have no building or nothing. It's MP control.
Right, but there was. I know that there was a structure on it. There was a guard booth. There was a little bench. There was a couple things on the compound. Where are they now?
But that could be still there.
They're not there, Anderson. And I'm. All right, Anderson, and I'm saying I don't know, and I'm saying I don't know who kicked or didn't kick, but we're not serious about having the conversation about water.
No, and if it is that the next person government, that the people that voted back for, we should be crying for water, as you say, in a time and an age like this. People that be talking about bricks staying there water, money pouring on the water, Beverly Hills on the water, no. We can do better than them. We can, on top of it, everybody in the shiny them and see what can happen to me, and sell them all you Basta workers, I say.
Thank you so much. Let me play some voice notes. Send them to 771-1790.
All those things, I should have gone with it. The scrap man go with the guard, the scrap out the guard boot, the thief out the electrical. I must take a drive. I took a drive there and see Lola Anderson talk that talk. It's the same people around there. Help scrap where we was seen on the highway, and then they put up a fancy thing with board and all kind of thing with that rotten down. Whatever wood they could have take out the thief they go on with. Don't Anderson give you that story there now, man. Well, good evening. Let me remind you. I go into Panama, mama. Remember, they just tell you about O'Halloran and Privat. But when they build the water treatment plant, the same man with SIS pick up and run to Panama, where there is no extradition treaty, and decide to try to take all the equipment they carry there. And Anderson them want to come to talk under the UNC, the same thing they tell me about O'Halloran and Privat, how much years ago, they came back and created. And here we go on. The same thing with the airport. They give me section 34 for H. Gilbert Singh and Steve Ferguson and how much others. And come back now and give me this one again, another Panama. And want to tell me about the PNM. And they did worse than the PNM to have, we don't know what. Anderson, find out about that thing over the highway by you.
And that's my thoughts. I personally do not want to have a water conversation because we're not serious about it. We're not serious about it. We're not. And like I say, I pass every single day on that stretch opposite the supposed site for the desal plant, and there is nothing there. Down to the tiles on the outside of the building they go on with. The fence break down, the bench is gone. They had a little park thing, they go on with that. Billions spent towards it. So to hear people right up the road in Sawa and Barataria have no water, And I supposed to have a discussion about that? When they was going with all the material and they was going with all this and they was going with all of that, we didn't say nothing. So we're not serious about having a discussion about water for all. So I will not engage myself in it. All I can talk about it, I can't tell a little what not to talk about. But I personally don't want a water conversation. We're not serious. Let's go. Caller, you live.
In 2015, before the 2015 election, Ganga Singh and they say water for all. So now we should not have a shortage of water. We should have water everywhere.
Thank you so much. Angela says it has water problems since I lived in San Juan. San Juan always have no water. Leslie Blackman says Wassa needs to clean up. Winston Late says, good afternoon, Aisha Wells Tobago in the house. How are you doing, my dear? The lines are open. We're taking your calls. I hold my position firm. I'm not discussing any water situation. We're not serious about it. I have heard that time and time again, and we seem to miss the boat every single time. Caller, you live.
Good afternoon to you, Aisha. Well, how are you going, my dear?
I get crime. How you doing?
No, I listening to everybody talking about Aisha. Well, listen to this one thing, right? The problem was not just under PNM. PNM was the country for the longest time, right? And effort was made for the situation to be rectified under the UN, right? Oh, now, let me tell you something. The most important thing, effort was made. You see places like Beecham and all them kind of things, it may have people down there who mean well, but if the majority don't mean well, things like that ain't going to change in them areas. Another thing again, right? Now, you telling me on the north side of Trinidad, surrounded by mountains, springs and all these different things, right? All these people and them have to do is just run the pipe in the ground, access to water, and listen to me, and enclose areas. There's mostly on the north where all the water dwelling. Because whenever the rain falls, depending on the dam, but the dam is full, right? But what I said, when you watch from Arena from all the way down to Shagaramat, you're talking about mountains on the hill. When the water leaves the north and come down on the south, it has nowhere to go except to go to the sea, right? All them have to do is just run the pipe, access the water, send the water to the dam. And they drain it area by area, and that problem solved right. But at the end of the day, when you listen to people calling back and forth, only calling ta. So I understand why you don't want to be a part of this discussion. But at the end of the day, right, the government is the one who can make the difference with them things is concerned. And as I say, if the problem never addressed under the PNF, and an effort was made under the UNC for the situation to fix, they can't say, well, somebody didn't try to fix the problem. But at the end of the day, where the project starts, if the people was the main cause of why things didn't go forward, they can't blame no political party for that. It's the people that take blame for that. And one more thing before I go, if it has water in the line, people have to understand water will stay for long. Because it has cut off water from one area to center next area. All you have to do is stop being so cheap, buy some tanks, store up some water, so when the water goes, you still have water until the water come back into the water line. Because water remaining in the water and will be permanent all the time. So people have to use their head where that is concerned, and then the water is free. You have to pay for that. Store the water, you go have water. Case closed. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, crime fighter. Trini John says, imagine, I am hearing places like Arima doesn't have water.
Auntie Aisha, good afternoon to you. Honestly speaking, I think that for the amount of money that was spent in Trinidad and Tobago, we could have had a desalination plant donkey years ago, right? Secondly, the people that actually lived in close proximity to there, right? Those are the very same people that stole the stuff, right, from the plant. Thirdly, right, I think in this day and age, we should have, right, been able to hold past governments and present governments, right, accountable for all the monies that went by, right? Because for too many times, we as a people, we just vote, right? And we just hear money going to spend for this, money going to spend for that, right? Budget here, budget there, right? And we don't have accountability on either side. Sometimes we see where the money going, but most times we don't. And I am really appalled by it, right? So it makes no sense here having any conversation with regards to water. I agree with you 100%. Have a good evening, Lockton and listener.
Thank you so much. Cheryl Isaac says she is from East Dry River, and months now WASA is saying that they are fixing a water problem in East Dry River. She says it's months that they have not had any water in the middle of a pandemic. She is a frustrated resident. We're going to go back to the voice notes.
Aisha, good evening again. Mr. Manning, in 2008, has given, if there was 3,500 workers in WASA, temporary, however, Mr. Manning had given them voluntary VSEP, voluntary retirement. And they took it. And he brought it down somewhere to around 1,800 or somewhere there from 3,000 something. And when the UNC got into office, they rehired back the same amount of people and increased it. So today, when WASA should have been a little more productive and a little more cost effective, the UNC turned it around to come back today now to give you the same story. And so what did they do better? Nothing better. And all they telling me, imagine they tell me a budget of 43. Mr. Manning spending too much. Mr. Manning called election before time and they leave it a budget of 63 billion, the most amount of money Trinidad had ever seen. And they ask, what we get for it? They want to tell you what this government do, what we get for it? Anything they bill, I still paying back the Chinese.
Three 420-0081 771-1791 466-5391 or 718-874-3860. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Aisha. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Aisha, you remember some years ago, Mr. Manning, so rest in peace, there was a proposal to introduce water meters in this country. Did you remember that?
Yes, I remember.
And what was it, and what became of that?
I don't have a clue.
Well, just like the tax, just like the land tax issue, everybody shut it down because they say it would affect the people and stuff like that. So it was shut down. But I think the government I think that is a good idea. As a matter of fact, this country should have had water meters many years back. It's long overdue, just like land tax. But like I say again, I agree with what the gentleman saying as WhatsApp message. The plan with Mr. Manning, the idea was to restructure WASA, right? He did have some visa plans with some people, and he also things so they could restructure. And when UNC came back, they have a feeling frenzy. And this is the problem we have. As a matter of fact, one of the results is this gentleman who became the head of the TSA. That's one of the casualties, unfortunately. But like I say again, we should have water meters long time. But like I say, certain people in this country shooting down just like the land tax issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Alison Lara on Facebook says, good afternoon, pretty girl. How are you doing, Alison? Maureen Macfield says, good afternoon. Nick Star says, good afternoon, Miss Wells. You all have me stressing out why the break or lack of streaming on YouTube. I don't watch or listen anywhere else. Gail, I and all don't know. Kelvin Thompson says, good afternoon, Aisha. And to all of you on the chat, while Sharon Francis says, good afternoon, sweet Aisha. You believe the UNC take back the dustbin? Why? What dustbin is this, Sharon? Fill me in. Eden Thomas says, good afternoon, Aisha. I was looking at a video on Facebook yesterday where a road in Couva is being used to dump lots of garbage instead of going to the dump. This is high-class worthlessness. Again, good afternoon to those of you on YouTube, and I apologize for the inconsistent streaming.
Good afternoon, Aisha. Aisha, I listen to all the bacchanal and the go forth and the who go in this one and this one. But I tell them, Franco, man, nowhere in the world you could get a man X amount of millions of money, he ain't build nothing, and then he take all the money and go in Panama. And then you want to go back and bring it back willfully. I did send him to Marshall to bring it back. You had to pay back the people the money. So every time I give you a contract, you just take up the people money, don't build nothing, and run away. That's unfair.
That is called Trinidad and Tobago. Let's play another one.
As well as when are we going to relegate, right? You know, and I can agree with you this evening, because they're talking water security since I was probably an infant. So my thing is, I mean, people want to say all kind of thing, and want to banter and tit for tat. But the fact of the matter still remains, the contractor that was given that project were part of my money because I'm a taxpayer. A large percentage of the taxpayers' money went to this project, and to this day we have no accountability. You know, so when are we going to really start holding these politicians? Because somebody had to sign off for that agreement, you know, somebody had to sign. So I don't understand, but we are going nowhere far with that is concerned.
And I am happy that people are seeing it my way this afternoon. I'm not carrying on the water talk with all you. I am not doing that. We have been there and done that for how many elections, how many governments, how many times we've discussed this. We went as far as setting up a whole operation to put a desal plant. And look it, watch it now on the highway. Drive and see it. Not even rain falling on it. Much less water. But we normal. So now to tell me you're clamoring for water right up the road, away from the plant? Look, only give me a break. Let me play some more voice notes as we continue to move on down the hour.
Aisha, good evening again. See, the UNC is not for governance of this country. It's to oppose. Because Mr. Pandey, see where I live, Aisha? I have a water meter in my yard that works under Mr. Pandey. Here I tell you what administration, the same people making noise about water meter under Mr. Pandey. I had water meters installed in San Juan, Barataria, and was going out. That's why Mr. Manning came and decided to continue it. But the same people who started come back and tell me they don't want it. It's like we going for a revenue authority. They had quite the minister of finance under the UNC Mercy Tree telling you about property tax. And today, when they're in opposition, they don't want to pay the same property tax. And tell them about it go be draconian because things getting hard and blah, blah, blah. But them had building with 3 and 4 story. And they were telling me if I get the property tax, I'm going to increase the rent. Black people, wake up now, please.
Good evening, Aisha Wells, and good evening to your listeners. Now, Aisha Wells, when I listen to the contribution of all the callers, right, and the fact that on either side of the fence, they are convinced by the word of mouth from these politicians who themselves are convinced that their colleagues have facilitated or even been involved in some form of corruption and dwindling the country of some funds, of some money. But I am saying, Aisha Wells, why isn't all these callers upset like me, like I am, with what is taking place in the police service, in the fact that the police are not convinced to the point that there is aggressive efforts towards investigating all these different allegations that relates to the mismanagement of the taxpayers' dollars in Trinidad and Tobago. Callers, that is who we have to call on, the police officers who are charged with that responsibility, right? It appears that it has some hardback cockroaches that Gary and them refuse to mash hard and kill. You understand? They're looking for the little small cockroach all over the place, but the hardback cockroaches will continue to fester all over this place, in our parliament, in you name it, all over this place, Aisha. Enjoy your evening.
Avron Avju says, good afternoon, Miss Wells. I'm locked on and joining you from Grenada. Hi, Avron. Janet Armstrong says, good afternoon, Aisha Wells. Blessings to you and your family. Stay safe. Travis Liverpool says, hello, Aisha Wells. I listened to you for years now, but never called. I'm a silent listener who loves your program, but I can't access your show. How can I join you without YouTube? Well, you can join us on the TuneIn app. You can download TuneIn app and search the Street 919 FM. You can get us on internet radio, trinidadradios.net. Search the Street 919 FM. You can get us on Facebook Live. Search the Street 919 FM as I take this call. Caller, you're live.
Now, I have one solution to this whole problem, right? You see the calling and blaming people, that ain't going to help this situation right now, because at the end of the day, we don't have Patrick Manning to do it anymore, And we don't have the UNC to anymore because they're in opposition right now. Right now, the active government who are running the country right now is the PNM. So, yeah, I want to give the PNM caller a little idea this afternoon. Give PNM an idea to fix the situation. Let the country rate PNM for something now. Right? Because everybody can call and talk about what the UNC do and what the UNC did do, and all of them will make an allegation against the UNC can't prove none. So here we're going to, let me start to rate the PNM for something now. Because PNM fed up come and tell me that they can fix the water problem, right? As I said, we don't have Patrick Valente to do it anymore. We don't have the UNC to do it. We have the PNM in place right now. Let the PNM fix the situation and let me, people like me, call and give the PNM ratings for something now. Because I can't see nothing to rate them for right now. I could rate the UNC for playing things. And yet still only they show them with allegation. Okay, give me a reason to support PNM now. Let them fix the situation. I'll wait and look at the calling and blaming people and go help the situation right now. Can it continue? Let me read the PNM for something now. Thank you.
And I advise you guys to buy a tank and full water when you can, or wait till the rain fall and bathe in the damn rain. But don't call to frustrate me on this afternoon to tell me about water and we want water and cuss Wassa for water. We have been there and done that. We've been cussing Wassa for water from 56 till now. I am not going down that road with you guys. I am very sorry. Go and bathe in the rain and see the place set up. Rain is about to fall. Put a tank by a spout and fill it. Or fill a bucket. One more voice note as we get ready to cross this hour.
Aisha, that they're trying to change your program and, you know, you can please people. You could do it once.
Very sorry.
You could give them the moon, the star, the diamond, the rubies, and they still wouldn't be satisfied.
No, what all they want me to do about that? I do have water to give all, yeah? We're gonna go for the break.
You talk, come talk with us. On the street, 919 FM.
The views expressed